Aloha and welcome back to day 7 of 12 videos of KIRSTMAS, otherwise known as Second Halloween, everybody! Celebrate good times, come on! I was really ill on Halloween. It got totally ruined for me this year. Give me a goddamn break! Now, as I said in day 4's video, we have something very special happening in 2019. We have 2 Friday the 13th. Now, if you've seen that video, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, that's fine, traitor. So I thought, what better time and what better excuse to share with you some Christmassy themed horror movies that you should definitely consider watching tonight. Like literally right after you watch this video. This is just a small handful. We are merely dipping our toe into the festive horror waters, and also they're in no particular order, so you can stop sharpening your pitchforks, thank you. The first film I want to talk about isn't technically a horror film, but we're going to bend the rules ever so slightly because it's just too good. It's the perfect combination of Christmas and Halloween from the mind of Tim Burton. It's The Nightmare Before Christmas. It's actually hard to believe that this film became so integral in my life. It was a big favourite of mine growing up, and it was probably one of the first films that wasn't just real people. Obviously I'd seen animations, but this was like very different, and I think this is where my little mind of wheels started turning, being like, how do they make these movies? Really strange it had that kind of impact, considering it was actually released 2 years before I was born. Some things age well. I'm not one of them. In this musical toe-tapping extravaganza, the citizens of Halloween Town, led by the one and only Jack Skellington, become increasingly obsessed with Christmasland, and the rest I will leave to you to find out for yourself. It's a really light-hearted, funny, family-friendly film, if you can look past the references to gang culture, abduction and cannibalism. Next, of course, I have to recommend the original classic Black Christmas of 1974. I really spoke at length about this one in day 4's video, and I don't want to rehash the same stuff for people who have already seen it, so if you haven't, go and check it out for a wee bit more info on this completely brilliant, spine-tingling, slasher-craze-evoking classic horror gold. I think they know I'm a fan. I think they're onto me. For my next recommendation, if you ask anyone, 9 times out of 10 when you speak to them about Christmas horror films, they will tell you one in particular, and that is Krampus, and for good reason, I might add. What could be better at this time of year than a movie that goes over old folklore that speaks of a half-goat, half-demon entity that punishes children for being on the naughty list? Said demon is awakened when a young boy called Max decides that he is just not having it with Christmas anymore, and I will leave you to watch the film yourself to find out how that goes for him and his family. Yee. Silent night, deadly night. Don't we just love a good Christmassy Halloween bun? This is another slightly older film. It was released in 1984, or the first one was anyway, but it really is a good festive Halloween movie. If you're the type of person who can really give into a film and you can pick up on little details and see little creepy coincidences and let them tingle down your spine, then I think you'll really appreciate this one. Things like who the killer actually is, how he came to be, how this all went down, and so on. I don't really want to give too much away on this one. I want to leave at least one of these movies quite ominous, considering the fact that I just directed you to an entire video when I debunk and decode Black Christmas. If you watch that, by the way, let me know what you think. And for my last recommendation, I knew I was going to talk about 5 movies, but I wanted one of them to be at least a wee bit more recent, even though Krampus was only 2015, but still, that's not the point. So may I present the last film on my recommended Halloween / Christmas / howl-miss list. Anna and the Apocalypse. This is a really weird, mashed together Christmas zombie apocalypse survival movie, and yes, I understand those words just came out of my mouth together. If you imagine Zombieland with some Shaun of the Dead and a little bit of La La Land, enjoy. As you may have guessed, 'tis the season for the zombie apocalypse to officially hit, and cue survival story. It's an acquired taste, this film, I will say that, but there's probably loads of people who watch it and think it's complete guff, but personally I found it quite funny. It's definitely a more light-hearted take on howl-miss. I really like that. I think we should make that a thing from now on. And that is it for my recommendations. We survived. Are we happy? Now, as I said at the start of the video, there's a reason I only wanted to list a few. One being, if I didn't limit myself, would be here all day, and who has time for that? I don't, you don't, we don't. 2, I'd like you guys to recommend a few to each other down in the comments. I left plenty out, some that are really obvious, some that are really great, so I'm curious to see which ones are your favourite. But as always, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this and if you're a fan of howl-miss, give this video a big thumbs up. Leave a comment below with your favourite howl-miss movie. I'm really digging this howl-miss thing. I feel like I have found myself in this video. A journey of self-discovery, directed by Kirstie Bryce. If you want to see my last 12 videos of KIRSTMAS video, it will be right across there. If you want to see the other videos, the playlist is down there thus far. Links to all these social medias are in the description if you want to come follow me. There's loads of stuff happening. Excited things are going down. Excited things? What? It's a catastrophe everywhere, but other than that, much love you guys, and I shall see you all in 2 days. Bye!